Everything's sorted out of order here today. But good morning, it's Steve. Monday morning, it's clear skies and 52 degrees. So I have a light windbreaker on just to keep the chill off for a while. It is a little after 6 a.m. My daughter knew I was going out. She prepares for school. And so this is how we're going to start our Monday. 4th Street Park. All to myself in the dark. Well, twilight. And we'll keep it at a pace my mom calls slow. It's funny. Posted the other day. And she says, a little slow, huh? The 11:30 pace. Come on, Mom. Give me a break. It's still fairly quiet around town. Though we did have a truck with muffler problems pass by the house, and oh my, so noisy. Well, we did not make it to the concert on Saturday. It was hot Saturday. So probably around concert time it was still close to 90. Muggy. Then yesterday morning I got up and it was 75. Still very humid. But then by the time I was heading to church, a breeze had picked up. And that breeze came and took the humidity away with it. So it was a rather nice day, but I wasn't too active yesterday. Yesterday was the 15th year since 9/11. Did not participate in any remembrances. I thought about doing a run, but I know I'm trying to. It's hard not to want to run every day. But to keep that desire in check, because I don't think that's the best for me. Yesterday after church, I met a mom of I'd say 13 years old girl. And the mom probably, I'd say, was in her mid-30s. And one of the pastors introduced her to me. So she's a runner, and she has recently had a heart attack, and a little bit different than mine, where mine was the classic rupture of plaque. Hers is something The initials are SCAD. Something like spontaneous, cardiac, something. And she says it's basically a tear in one of the blood vessels. And she didn't even know what was happening, but it happened a couple of times and she decided to get it checked out. She has her follow-up doctor's appointment today. And it sounds, she's scared. I could see it on her face. She has great worry. You know, here she is in her 30s. Right now she cannot exercise. And she's told the mortality rate is fairly high. And she's got a daughter who's only 13. So we exchanged our stories, committed to pray for each other, and she says she's been to the church before. Maybe 2 times, but sporadic. So she knows some folks at church. Her daughter gets on the same bus stop as another lady who works in the office Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So her name is Terry. If you don't mind remembering her. I'm curious to see how the cooler temperatures play on the way I feel after runs. I'm expecting better things, but we shall see. So I'm just in here around the baseball fields at the moment, and the sky is lightening, not lightning, but lightening into the full day. The sun probably won't be up for another half hour. Oh, we had great success on Saturday with the wood splitting. I posted pictures of that. Had, I think 6 folks. Bruce and his wife, Lori. I think Lori was there to keep an eye on Bruce and his knee. And Bruce has been having an issue with his splitter. So when he came in June, ran the splitter, then took a break, couldn't get it started up again. Good morning. And the same thing happened on Saturday. And he tinkered with it. Thought it was a spark plug or something. Tried to replace that, clean it up, and still nothing. And then we noticed that the throttle wasn't moving when trying to start it. So we moved the throttle for it, and it started up just fine. So he estimates we have about 7 cords stacked. And as you can see from some of the pictures, we still have some pretty big pieces left. Unfortunately, those pieces are poplar. And poplar just, well, it's not the best wood. But it does burn, so that's good. Let's see, I'm not sure I'm going the direction I went to. I was thinking I know what I'll do. I'll just mix this up. I was thinking I was going to, if I went the other way around this part of the park, I would just go across the street and do the perimeter. It's a little over 3 miles, I think. So we'll figure something out. Just break from the road here, or break from the path around the cemetery. And head over across between the midget football league and the soccer fields. And let's see, a new update on my mother-in-law. So Thursday, they did not release her to rehab, but released her home. Which means she and her husband were on their own to care for her. That was a bad idea. So the nurses, social worker, were kind of appalled that she was released. They said, look, if anything happens at home, call 911. Get her to a hospital, and then we'll get her placed. And it should have happened the first time. So, well, guess what happened? Saturday, she fell about 6:15 p.m. I'm very thankful that she was on the carpet and a nice thick padding, so she just landed with a thud. And she got taken to emergency and kept overnight with the intent to place her in rehab. Well, as of last night, They did an x-ray and an MRI. And except for a little soreness from the fall, she's okay. So then they finally admitted her to that hospital last night with the idea that she would be released to rehab today, we hope. So what a mess. And of course, she was supposed to have an MRI in the afternoon, but the hospital had to had to convince the insurance company that it was necessary, a necessary procedure. So she waited all day for that. And so that's the state of healthcare. I don't see it really improving these days, with more people in the system and more care needed, and more procedures are probably being questioned than ever before, and less space in hospitals. And you just want to see your loved one cared for. So, Carlos is at Mavis's home, if Mavis still lives in her home, or how that works. Because he's doing laundry for her and helping her out. Sounds like she's quasi-independent, but I don't know. All right, starting to feel the warmth build up in the jacket, but still too cool to just strip it off, for me at least. Or I just don't want to. So I finished listening to Norman's Water in His Pockets. It should have said Water in My Pockets. Had a little too much Lord of the Rings and Hobbit viewing over the weekend. Didn't watch anything in total, but just, good old Gollum. What's in its pockets? It was water. Oh, no, that wasn't it. It was water in Norm's. So you could hear the slosh. I think I mentioned before, I enjoy the sounds of the water breaks when Jim takes from his canteen or whatever it is he's drinking from. I'm wondering if I go around to the park on the other side of Mill Street, I will see those fit ladies, because I did see there's a deer running through the cemetery. I did see a number of cars parked. Anna came to me last night and said she wanted to drop AP Physics, but there isn't a regular physics at the time slot that she can move into. Says the teacher, and I don't know if this is true, you're hearing for somebody who's upset about her grades only 2 weeks into class, saying that the summer homework was heavily weighted. I said, well, I find that hard to believe. I haven't had any instruction that the teacher would do that. So I have a question in my mind which I didn't verbalize so straightforwardly was, aren't you overreacting? And nobody wants to see a C who is used to getting A's and B's, but it's only 2 weeks. Says, but I don't plan on taking the AP test for physics anyway. So what's the point? Good point. Alright, made it to Cemetery and 9th. And I will keep heading down 9th, taking a left after the tennis courts, head into the park. See you in a little bit. I just ran over the bridge at St. Isidore's, and the creek is completely dry at the bridge. And now there are puddles here and there where the ducks are hanging out, but there's really no water to speak of. Running the little path behind the baseball diamond. I expect that the Ambassadors baseball season is over. The semi-pro league, mostly college players, I think. Passing behind the log cabin. Let's see, it's the skating rink. What do you call that one? That's a place they have that I lament oftentimes in the years when it's cold enough to have an ice skating pond for a decent amount of time, and they don't keep the ice skating rink open. They use it as a dumping ground for snowplows. School bus just going by. I'm pretty certain it's not Anna's. She would be on her bus by now. I'll finish up with one more trek around the 4th Street Park. Should bring me to my car. And the sun looks like it's just ready to peek over the horizon. Just trying to peek through some trees. Just barely hitting some treetops. Oh, there we go. I see it. And now I don't. So I'm rather liking the cooler temperatures to run in. And we're supposed to be in the low 80s, maybe even upper 70s for the foreseeable future. See, I'm approaching a student with backpack. He's on a skateboard, probably coming from the Walnut Bank Farm development. Older student. The guy's got chin fuzz. The pastors are going to be not in for the first half of the day. They're doing some bonding. I think they're going on a hike up near Jim Thorpe. Not sure how it's pronounced, but once upon a time, before Jim Thorpe was around, it was named Mock Chunk, I think. M-A-U-K Chunk, or Mock Chuck. Not sure. You can look that up. Yesterday was a busy day. At church I had to fill in several people's shoes. Wearing more hats than normal. And I would say to try to avoid that in the future, because the stress level was pretty high. So, need to have a good talk with Eric this morning about he forgot to get someone to fill in for somebody else. So, since he has other things keeping him busy on a Sunday morning, that was falling to me. So, I already had enough things to do. I didn't need another thing on my plate. So we'll have that talk this morning. And then really need to, let's see, the person I'm working on with having extra volunteers on a Sunday, he's had some visitors, so I knew that he was not going to be ready to talk again. Putting together a job description for me for that position, and I think he'll be available this week. The car is in sight. Just jog over to it, keep the joints limber. Nobody out yet walking the dogs. But the sun is truly up, so it should be coming out of the woodwork soon. All right, well, we will call things done as far as the trackers go. There's a couple of dogs and a master. Well, there really is a beauty in the sun just coming up and hitting the tops of things and then slowly creeping across the landscape. Looks like a beagle and some sort of terrier. There's so many terriers, I am not familiar. So, instead of just listening to me pant here, I'll wish you all the best, and we'll see what kind of things unfold this week. Every week is different, and every day holds surprises. That's not true. Every day can hold a surprise. So let's make sure those are pleasant surprises. So, or we'll make pleasant surprises happen while the other surprises you don't have any control of. There are some you can. So maybe a card in my wife's lunch or purse. I'll see what I can scheme up today. All right. Well, that's it for this Monday morning. Steve at the 4th Street Park. Power station hum beside me. Library on the other side. And looks like it's going to be a nice day. So wishing you all the best. Take care.